Welcome back to the Contact Center Cactus Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Malvin, and we are here for part 2 of our conversation with Kiezia, our company culture director at Pac Biz. Welcome back to the show, Kiezia, and welcome back, listeners.
Thank you, Eric, for having me, and I'm excited to talk more about company culture.
Yeah, and so today we're going to finish the conversation we started in the last episode, and we're going to dig into core values. We're going to talk a lot about core values here in the show and how important that is to building a great culture. So you hear some examples and stories about that. And then we're going to end the episode talking about some advice for companies that are trying to improve their company culture. So if you're thinking about making it better, bringing in that great place to work certification possibly, me and Kiezia, we're going to talk about some advice for you guys on what you could do for your business. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ready, Kiezia?
Ready.
I feel really fortunate that, and if you didn't hear some of the earlier episodes, you might not know this. Kiezia is our very first employee we ever hired, now over 10 years ago, which is crazy. We got people that have been working with me for that long. But not only that, but yeah, you've been director of company culture from just very, very, very early on in the company. And so because of that, because you've been there so long, there's a lot of things that you've been able to help start traditions and different events that we do. So take me back through the last 8 years. What were some of the favorite initiatives, the favorite things that you helped launch that you've been able to do over the last 8 years?
Well, I love how we updated our core values where everybody got involved compared to, because we just had it. So that was a big thing. And in terms of event, it would be I like Filipinos loves to sing and dance. So it would be the Pac Biz jam, and I've seen clients with if ever we had that and then they're here, they really enjoy that one.
I agree. Yeah, Pac Biz jam, right? PB jam. I'll never forget the pictures of seeing the clients there singing and dancing with you guys too.
Right.
And yeah, maybe we could plan maybe we should put the schedule out for 2024 and then share it with the clients so that they get a chance to come out. Because I'm telling you, there's so many people that want to come out to visit. I mean, I think every week there's someone that says it. And I know some people are yeah, it'd be great to come out. But there's some people that really, really do want to come out. And so we'll be excited to have them come out. But, another one of the things I love that we need to bring back, because it's been a little while, Sports Fest. That was one thing that COVID killed. We were doing that every year, and it's getting bigger and bigger. The last time we did it, we ended up making custom jerseys. I still have my jersey for the 5-year anniversary. And so it's time to bring that one back. But any other awesome ideas that you've been able to launch over the last 8 years?
One of my favorites, I think, is I like making impact personally. So it's about empowering people to do their cause, partnering with them. So we've launched programs like the EcoRev and the Be a Blessing, because you cannot, you cannot do it. It does make a lot of difference when somebody is passionate about it's their cause, and then the company is supporting it, and you're making great impact to the community.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And fulfillment.
I love that stuff.
So I love those kinds of impact that they had. And clients can also join us. We have our French partners, and they can join our bike ride with the CEO Eric Mulvin. We just had a bike ride around the boulevard. So those kind of stuff. So it's fun and also with an impact. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's pretty rare, even for a company here. If you were at a business that had 250 employees and you got to do a bike ride with the CEO around town, it's pretty unique. And I'm there doing that in the Philippines. So, but I love the stuff we get to do. And, any usually any crazy idea that it always ties to our core values somehow. And I'm always like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see how it goes. And so glad we've been able to be a place to help you bring all these creative ideas to life. So so we talked a lot about so many different things that we've done to help make Pac Biz the culture that it is today. So I hope for all you guys that are listening that you've got a notebook full of ideas that you could take back to your company, and hopefully it inspired maybe some new ones that we didn't talk about, but that you're like, wow, if I did this at my business and that at my business. And some of the stuff we do doesn't cost a lot. It might take some time, so there's some costs there. You got to devote some resources, but I think it really comes down to taking some kind of effort and making an effort and making it it can't be just an afterthought. Like at the end of the year, oh shoot, we didn't do any culture stuff this year. We better put an event on before the end of the year. It can't be that. It has to be like part of the everyday part of your company. So for the people listening, Kiezia, maybe they're thinking about like building up their culture to, they don't like where their company culture is today. Or maybe they're like, you know what? That's a good goal. I want to get the great place to work for my business. What advice would you have for those listening that are getting ready to take on this challenge for their business?
I would advise them it definitely starts from the leadership. So it can sell an idea, they should like buy into the idea about having this culture, great culture that you will have. One big thing would be encouraging people to be their authentic self so they can give so much value to the company. And culture will make your business run smoother. So you have to invest in your people.
Yeah. And for the business people on here, you might be thinking of like, okay, if I spend this much, what's my return going to be? And that's going to be really hard to measure. And the impact is so big because if you're just looking at like your turnover rate, you're not going to see the cost savings in training because now you don't have to train so many people. You're not going to see the cost savings in the resources it takes to hire all those people all the time. Or the fact that probably all these people quitting all the time in your business because you don't have a great culture, what impact does that have on your great performers? That now they're always having to fill in the slack for the people that are missing, and then there's a new person, and then they're training them, and they quit. That is a bad cycle of being in your business. So let's say someone's in that. Now, we haven't faced that here at Pac Biz, but what would you say to a company that's struggling with their culture and they're just trying to get it to a level where it's not failing, or like maybe some of those things I mentioned, they're facing that in their business? What would you say they could start tackling first?
Well, yeah, sit down with their leaders and then check the core. This all starts with core values and start having conversation. How do you strengthen that? How do you, because when you have that, it's a big thing. So sit down and start conversation and with your leaders specifically. So that's the first thing because we had to. I would say that when we sit down and then check our core values compared to because before we just had the core values written, right? Without the participation of many people, and there's such a lot of difference in terms of impact when we updated that with everybody involved.
It's true because we had an acronym.
Yeah,
you made one that went for the letters Pac Biz, like proactive. Mm-hmm. I forgot what the rest of it. I just remember proactive, and I was like, who here can repeat these core values to me? Who knows what they are? I didn't even know what they were. So, you can't just go through the motions, and it has to be authentic. When we talked earlier about being your true self, if you're up there as a leader of the company and you're just faking it and you're like, yeah, we got to make our culture better because it's secretly like, well, I'm going to make more money this year if we could make our turnover better. Like, you don't care about the people. You're just trying to make more money. I think people are going to see through that, and they're going to know, like, this isn't real, because when it comes time to make those investments, maybe it's like, hey, we want to put on this event for the staff. We really think that would help the culture. And it's like, nope, it's not going to fit in the budget. Well, are you just saying it, or are you really going to believe it? And if you make any kind of announcement to the staff, like, we're going to start building our culture, but then you don't back it up. So like you said, I'm just talking about the investment side of it, but it's also like every day, all your interactions with your staff from the leaders, how is that? Like, are you living out those core values, or are you saying these are our core values, but then your managers are cussing out the employees, and they're all getting treated differently, and they're going home feeling like a failure because people weren't uplifting them. They're telling them that you don't belong here, or something. Like, that compassion, that core value of ours, we live out even in that. So it's not just, hey, we're giving back to the community. It's like, this employee is going through something in their life. They're struggling on the phone. It's impacting our relationship with the client. What can we do to support this person? That's our first thought, not throw them on the street. And so those stories come out. People talk. Their employees talk. And I think those stories spread around when they hear about good and bad, whether it's you're keeping this employee that's toxic, that should be, like, wow, this person's still here. I thought they were going to be fired last month. What the heck? Or, whatever the story is, good or bad, or vice versa. Wow, like, that employee, their husband divorced them, and they were going through all this stuff, and they got really sick, and they took a break for a couple of months. Now they're back and they're great. Wow, like, that's amazing. I know if I ever have to go through that, for me personally, Pac Biz is going to take care of me too. And that trust, like, they know. I think, again, those stories spread. So whether they're good stories that are being passed around your company or bad, I think that's also a lesson too. Like, that culture, those stories are spreading regardless. So, if you have a great culture, are you helping make good stories be spread, or are you having no control over those stories and you're letting whatever happen? So, anyway, I could keep talking about this all day with you.
So going back to that, Eric. So we got like 91% on the leadership behavior, right? So once you have your core, once you sit down with your leaders and have it communicated, because based on our results, communication also was on top. So
yeah,
and we have
great advice, Kiezia.
So that's what makes us a great place to work in, among the other aspect.
All right, so to all you other call centers in Dumagetti listening and trying to figure out our secrets, there you go. There's all of our secrets. Go take care of your staff. Go create some core values. Make it a great place to work. I really hope everyone in the Philippines and around the world copies us, although I know it's not going to happen. But we put it out there. These aren't secrets, and I don't think we're not inventing anything new here. Take care of your employees. Like, there's companies known all over the world for taking care of their staff, and it's also no secret. Those companies are very successful. So that's the model we're going after here, and great place to work certification. I think it's the second award we've ever won for Pac Biz. The first was this ASU 100 award behind me, but I think it's one of the first of many more that we're gonna get. Just because we're just doing what we do. We're not trying to run the company to win these awards, but I think just by living out those core values, by having an amazing culture, I think we got an opportunity to be recognized for building something special here. And I'm excited, Kiezia, to be working with you to help expand this out to more of the Philippines, and hopefully in the process more companies get inspired to also run a great organization. So hopefully your work you're doing here maybe has a much bigger impact, more than you'll ever realize. You don't know who's listening and is going to go and do this for their business.
I just want to share this one, since you're talking about sharing with companies. So I just encountered this, that you don't have to make your work revolutionary. You just have to make it evolutionary. And that's what we're doing here in Pac Biz. That's why we're getting this Great Place to Work certification, is to evolve more as a company and make our culture better. So there you go.
Awesome. So hope you guys got, I think this is probably the most amount of nuggets and takeaways that we've ever had in a podcast. So I hope you got a lot out of this, guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you like what you heard, we're always talking about running a call center, outsourcing, running great organizations, virtual assisting, customer service, customer experience. Those are kind of the things that we talk about on the show. And so if you want to hear more, please make sure to subscribe. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, and through the Alliances radio show, we're on 50 other podcast channels. So you could find us everywhere and anywhere, the Contact Center Cactus Chat. So Kiezia, thanks again for sitting down with me today and sharing with our listeners here this awesome news about the Great Place to Work certification for Pac Biz. And yeah, I'm excited to have you again on in the future. I'm sure we'll have plenty more to talk about as Pac Biz grows, and we help continue our work of building the culture here at Pac Biz. So.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. This has been a great chat with you.
All right, awesome. So again, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next episode. We'll be back with more stories for the rest of 2023. So thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.